The Alabama Farmers Federation and the Alabama Farmers Cooperative proudly present Simply Southern with your hosts Jim Allen and Mary Johns.
Hello and thanks for joining us for Simply Southern. I'm Jim Allen.
And I'm Mary Johns. From the smell to the touch, leather goods made from the highest quality hides are a treat for the senses. And you don't have to look far to find them in Alabama.
It is special when you can say that 100% of this product was made right here in Huntsville, Alabama.
Even though Alabama has seen a sharp decline in the number of dairies, one young lady in Elmore County is not letting that stop her from chasing her dream.
I grew up here, and so dairy cows are just a passion of mine.
Sydney Phelps of Bonnie Plants has a novel idea for those who want to grow their own food and beautify their home at the same time: edible landscaping.
Last year, our viewers voted the peanut butter fudge cake from McKinney Cakes as Bama's best peanut butter dessert. Up next, we take you to the bakery where Peggy McKinney has whipped up her scrumptious dessert for decades.
What sustains us? Food? Family? Faith? Alabama farmers live those things every day. They conserve our resources, clothe our families, and fill our tables. They cultivate jobs for our communities and values for our future. Farmers grow it all right here in Alabama.
There's no such thing as downtime when you own a farm. This is your land. You tend it and try to get the most from it, no matter the weather or time of day. It's been that way for generations. And for generations, your local quality co-op store has been there for you, with a full range of agriculture supplies and services, from feed to fertilizer, seed to grain storage, and the right hardware for any application. You'll always find what you need, plus friendly, knowledgeable advice at your local quality co-op store. There's one near you.
Since last season, we've been on culinary quests to find Bama's best milkshake, Bama's best biscuit, and now Bama's best peanut butter dessert. While you might expect this award to go to an outstanding pie, it's actually a chocolatey, fudgy, peanut buttery cake that you, our viewers, voted best in the state.
Tucked away in Montgomery's historic Capitol Heights neighborhood, you'll find McKinney Cakes. Peggy McKinney raised her family in this home, which they turned into a bakery in 1997. But her legendary award-winning recipe for peanut butter fudge cake dates back to the 1980s when she started providing cakes for the Capital City Club.
It actually was received so well that it became synonymous with Capital City Club. It's like Capital City Club, oh, that's where you get peanut butter fudge cake.
The cake is now also synonymous with being best in the state. McKinney's recipe won Simply Southern TV's Facebook contest for Bama's best peanut butter dessert. The contest was sponsored by the Alabama Peanut Producers Association, who provided a plaque and $300 as McKinney's prize.
When I shared it on Facebook, it was just instant response from people. I don't know how to put it into words. She's just so loved around this town that people just jump, want to vote for her, and they really love the cake.
Everybody says we just love chocolate and we love peanut butter, and nobody can make that cake the way she does. She just puts her heart and soul into every cake she makes.
The peanut butter fudge cake is a favorite choice for grooms at their weddings. Peggy also makes traditional wedding cakes, but the peanut butter fudge cake remains her best seller.
When people describe the cake, they say it's like a Reese's cup in a cake, because the peanut butter is prominent. I mean, you taste it, but it's just in the middle. But if you get the combination in your mouth of the cake and the little peanut butter and the frosting, I think the combination of those three things is just, if you like chocolate and peanut butter, it just sends your taste buds into orbit.
Peggy has never written the recipe down, and she's the only person who can make it.
I just had a lady in here yesterday. She said, I'm a really good cook, and I've tried to make a peanut butter cake for my family, but she said, they say, Mom, yours is good, but it's just not like Miss Peggy's. And she said, so then she comes over here and gets one, and she said, I don't know what you do to it, but she said it's just the best cake we've ever eaten. My whole family just loves it.
Although she doesn't allow others to know the recipe, she did let us in her kitchen and even trusted me with a spatula and a pastry bag. Peggy has adapted the cake recipe into peanut butter fudge cake bites for customers who need something bite-sized to satisfy their cravings. With one 48-ounce jar of crunchy peanut butter, Peggy can make 4 of her 10-inch cakes. In November 2017 alone, the bakery produced 80 peanut butter fudge cakes, which means they easily go through over 250 jars a year.
To this day, 34, 35 years later, I still can't believe it, that it just became so popular. And people will say, well, you're so well known in town. I said, I just bake cakes. You know, it's just still floors me. It just amazes me that happened.
After more than 4 decades of baking, many folks expect Peggy would be making plans to hang up her spatula. But she doesn't like to talk about retiring. She just plans to keep making people happy with her cakes.
It's just a joyful business because it's a happy business. People are coming to get something that they're going to share with their family or share at a wedding reception, and it has become a tradition.
As for the recipe, Peggy joked that she does have plans to share it, eventually.
I won't give the recipe to anyone. I said, that's my recipe. And I said, I'm just going to put it on my tombstone. And I said, people will wonder why there's this long line up at the cemetery. And they said, oh, they're copying down the peanut butter recipe.
We had a good time visiting with Peggy, and I mean, she trusted me with that icing bag. I think I did okay until the curly cues on the top. She has the touch for that.
Yeah, Peggy said she got into cake making back when her mother gave her a cake decorating kit back in the 70s.
Right. That just goes to show you don't know the impact one small gift can have on a person.
Yeah, it ended up giving Peggy a whole new career.
Absolutely. We'll meet the Holtz family when we return. These Huntsville natives create their own made-in-the-USA leather goods, and their story truly encompasses the American dream.
The versatile peanut, meat of the earth, friend of the soil, tasty, nutritious, packed with protein. And Alabama peanut farmers nourish some very special things: families, communities, and Alabama's economy. Peanuts. Good for you, good for Alabama.
The unexpected. The inevitable. The inconvenient. Life can be difficult. Make it a little easier. Alpha Insurance.
Support healthy food from local farmers by purchasing a Farming Feeds Alabama license plate. The tag funds education and promotion efforts, including Ag in the Classroom, agricultural scholarships, and youth programs. Get your Ag tag today.
A farmer has to live on faith. We do all we can do, but we can only control so much.
Alabama is the second largest poultry growing state in the nation, so we're trying our best to grow all the corn we can for that.
What we produce not only feeds and clothes all of the United States, but about half of what we make goes on to the world market.
We've been able to improve yields, have some things that can help us produce a better crop. I'm proud of the product we make and proud that I can say I'm an Alabama farmer.
The American dream is pretty simple. No matter what your background, we just want to provide for our families, both materially and spiritually. But achieving the American dream has a lot of ups and downs. When financial lows hit the Holtzes, it was their spiritual fortitude that got them through and gave birth to the Holtz Leather Company in Huntsville.
We wanted more. Rick Holtz is proud to call himself an Alabama craftsman. Along with his wife Colleen and their 6 children, Rick is the proprietor of Huntsville's Holtz Leather Company, the very model of a family business. Today, their variety of classic handmade leather keepsakes has established Holtz Leather Company as a popular choice for one-of-a-kind gifts. But to say this family's road to success was a bumpy one would be a major understatement.
We lost everything to the very point of my wife and I talking about living in our car, because having 6 kids, we couldn't possibly live with either of our families.
Years before Holtz Leather Company was even an idea in his head, Rick had enjoyed great success with a computer repair and resale business.
Anything that you could materialistically want, I had the ability to get. And being self-made, you kind of develop this sense that you create your destiny. And I remember my wife came to me one day and she's like, hey, I really feel like, there's some things in your life you need to pray about, and pride being one of them. And I remember I went out and I was praying, and as I was praying, I really felt like I gave it to the Lord and said, Lord, whatever it is, if I'm prideful, do whatever it takes to humble me.
The collapse of his business and the personal and financial hardship that followed certainly humbled the Holtz family, but it also opened the door to build something new.
Both of us knew that we wanted to create something made in the U.S. Having 6 kids, we wanted something that we could pass down to our children. And so we looked through the web and tried to do a lot of research, and we stumbled upon leather goods. And we didn't know anything about leather goods. We didn't know how to make leather goods. Knew nothing about it, but we were willing to learn and put the hard work in it to figure it out.
Starting with just a simple leather keychain, Holtz Leather Company has developed a continually expanding catalog of high-quality products.
We use full-grain American leather. It just has so much of the character of the animal in the hide. I love when I get a hide and it has brand marks in it, or it has scars or scratches, those type of things that just tell the story of that animal. We incorporate those elements into our product. When leather comes in, we're inspecting our leather to make sure that it is to our quality and to our liking, and making sure that it's been tanned all the way through. After that, it really starts with prototyping, designing the product, and we'll work tirelessly designing products.
Although you'll find the usual favorites like wallets, belts, and purses, the Holtz catalog is filled with unique and customizable creations.
Trying to find something unique is sometimes difficult. So we look into the marketplace and see what is kind of moving. One of the things we're most excited about right now is our messenger bag is about ready to come out on the market. To go from a keychain to a messenger briefcase bag is quite a feat, and we're very excited about that.
The Holtz family has enjoyed the opportunity to bring an Alabama-made product to the world, but they haven't forgotten the test of their faith that opened this door.
We fought, and the Lord established the work of our hands, and yes, we were able to pay all of our past debts. We caught everything up current. We had got out of it, and we're in a much better financial situation than we've ever been in our life. It is special when you can say that 100% of this product was made right here in Huntsville, Alabama. That's pretty cool, and we are so blessed, and our heart is different now. It's not about making more. It's not about having more. It's about creating something that we can glorify the Lord in what we do, or to bring glory to the Lord is what our desire is, and to pour into our children and pour into the people that work with us.
For Simply Southern, I'm Samantha Carpenter.
They make beautiful gift items for everybody in the family, and while we were shooting, they were nice enough to personalize a journal cover for our director, Kevin Worthington.
Wow.
Take a smell of that though, Jim.
Ah, it's a wonderful smell.
Isn't it? I mean, nothing replaces that real leather smell. Nothing else like it.
When Simply Southern continues, we'll meet a young lady that's chasing her dream of operating a dairy in spite of statistics that show a dramatic decline in Alabama milk production.
1 out of 4 Alabama residents have benefited from the Alabama Cooperative Extension System. Last year, Master Gardener Managed Gardens donated $150,000 worth of fruits and vegetables to food banks, and over 25,000 young people developed math, science, technology, and engineering skills through 4-H. Now what we want to know is, how can we help you?
Soybean is a very versatile product. We make crayons out of it.
A lot of the combines you see rolling through the fields have a lot of plastic side panels that are made from a soy product.
The soybeans that we grow on our farm mostly goes into chicken feed.
Soybean production in Alabama employs over 10,000 people.
We grow some of the best soybeans in the world.
We go the extra mile to make sure when our name is stamped on it, we know it's the best product we can produce.
Support healthy food from local farmers by purchasing a Farming Feeds Alabama license plate. The tag funds education and promotion efforts, including Ag in the Classroom, agricultural scholarships, and youth programs. Get your Ag tag today.
Home. It's where you take your time. Build the future. Make your memories. Celebrate. Come home. Alpha Insurance.
Being a catfish farmer to me means carrying on a legacy that my father started about 35 years ago. It's a good way to take care of the land and provide a nutritious product for people all over the world. My name is Mary Quitman Holmes. My sister, my father, and I own this farm, Lawson Catfish Farm, in Perry County, Alabama.
Over the last 20 years, the number of dairies in Alabama has decreased from more than 200 to less than 50. In spite of those disappointing statistics, Michaela Sanders is reviving a family tradition started by her great-grandfather more than 70 years ago, providing fresh, locally produced milk for people in her community.
Michaela Sanders didn't always plan to be a farmer. She graduated college as a dental hygienist. But she says milking cows has been her passion ever since she was a little girl. Now she's turned that lifelong obsession into a new career.
Blue Ribbon Dairy was just opened in November 2017. I am milking 16 cows. It takes a couple of hours to get the cows milked and get all our outside work done. And then we head to the processing room and either get milk started pasteurizing or get it bottled, or like this morning, I left here at about 7 o'clock and I have a refrigerated trailer, so I delivered my milk to some local grocery stores. We have to be back at the farm by 3 o'clock every day because the girls are waiting on us again. So we try to get started milking about 4.
Michaela says tradition is important to her. For example, when her great-grandfather started this operation, it was the first grade A dairy in Elmore County. When her grandfather closed the operation in 2005, it was the last. And today, under Michaela's leadership, it's the only dairy in Elmore County.
I'm a 4th-generation farmer. My granddaddy had this dairy farm and I grew up here. People aren't really sure about where their food comes from, and so I called Mom and we were talking about it, and I was like, hey Mom, I want to be able to allow people to come to the farm, and so that way we can show people how their milk gets from the cow to the jug.
Michaela says her primary mission is to help people understand where their food comes from and what it takes to get it from her farm to their table. But since she works alone, it's often handy to have more hands available to help with daily farm chores.
We have a pile of people come in basically 7 days a week. And also I let people bottle feed my baby calves, so everybody loves that. So it helps me out a little bit. Put them to work.
Blue Ribbon Dairy Milk is available in a few grocery stores in Autauga and Elmore counties and in Michaela's on-farm store. Even though she has to follow the same regulations as much larger dairies, she says there's a big difference between her milk and theirs.
It's not homogenized, so the cream will rise to the top. So a lot of people think that they're lactose intolerant, but really and truly they may not be lactose intolerant. It's the homogenization process that their body may not agree with. I have a lot of customers that tell me they haven't drank milk in 10 or 15 years, and they just wanted to try to drink my milk just because everybody talks about how good it is, and so they did, and they had no issues with it.
Most dairies that milk more cows than Michaela sell their milk to large cooperatives that process, bottle, and market it. But the number of those type dairies has declined by more than 90% in Alabama over the past 30 years. Experts say operations like Blue Ribbon Dairy may represent the future of the industry here.
The reason is she's from here, and her grandfather was in the dairy business here.
Name recognition, whether you're in politics or in farming, retail farming, is important. And there's a lot of people that are looking for locally based products here in Elmore County as well as Montgomery. And a lot of people would love to come out here and visit the farm and see what's going on, to know where their food comes from.
I do see this as the future for people that just want to be in the dairy business. I have a few dairy farming friends in another state, and I said, listen, you know, you and a couple of other farms, y'all just need to get together and do this yourself. Do what I do, just pasteurized milk and no homogenization and put in a bottle and sell it locally. And that way they'll be able to continue to do what they love.
For Simply Southern, I'm Kevin Worthington.
If Michaela looks familiar, she was featured on our show a few years ago when she ran the mobile dairy classroom.
Although that program's not offered anymore, it's obvious she has a true passion for the dairy industry.
She really does.
When Simply Southern continues, Sydney Phelps of Bonnie Plants will show you how to integrate your garden into the overall beauty of your home. He calls it edible landscaping.
There's nothing quite like sitting down to a home-cooked meal with fresh vegetables from the garden. With Bonnie Plants from your local quality co-op store, you can enjoy the freshest vegetables right from your own backyard. And no matter if you're a raised bed gardener, a rose gardener, or if you farm hundreds of acres, your quality co-op store has exactly what you need to get the most out of your plants. You'll always find what you need, plus friendly, knowledgeable advice at your local quality co-op store. There's one near you.
What we eat, what we wear. It all starts somewhere. And if it's good, it usually starts with a farmer. And that somewhere is right here in Alabama. In a field, in a barn, on a tractor. Right now, there's a farmer starting something good for all of us. And it all starts right here in Alabama.
FFA makes a positive difference in the lives of students by developing their potential for premier leadership, personal growth, and career success through agricultural education.
We're strengthening American agriculture and providing our members with the skills needed to build healthy local communities, a strong nation, and a sustainable world.
We are the next generation of agriculture.
It's our turn now.
Let's show the world what we can achieve together.
We are FFA.
For more Simply Southern, be sure to follow us on social media. And while you're online, visit our website, simplysouthern.tv.net. Simply Southern will continue in a moment.
We believe a plant should be more than a plant. This one is. It's all you need for your garden to succeed, because it's a Bonnie plant. It represents hundreds of varieties of Bonnie's quality veggies and herbs. But more, it's from generations of Bonnie people who are passionate about sharing their love of gardening with you. Look for this little Bonnie plant and a whole family of plants like it in your garden center. Bonnie Plants, so you'll know how to grow.
Hey folks, Sydney Phelps here with Bonnie Plants. Today I want to talk to you about useful methods that you can use edible landscaping here at your home. Now, for example, we have an area that's never been landscaped before, and we want to save some money and not have to buy perennials or shrubs or anything to put in the place. Instead, we're going to try to use herbs and vegetables from the garden to make this area a little more beautiful. Now, I have lemongrass in my hand here today, and lemongrass is great to keep insects away. It's really good mosquito repeller, and it's also prolific in how it grows. It's a very bright green, so against this privacy fence, you can see here, you have the standard wood tones and everything that you've got here, but I've got a very big voided area here where this corner is. Now, if I get a couple of lemongrass plants and just place them right here, almost diagonal, it's gonna fill this entire space up. You can trim it back and it's gonna fill this void, and it's gonna make it almost a rounded corner and make it a lot more attractive whenever you're coming home from work. And it's easy to keep mosquitoes away. Like I said, your dogs can get into this. It's not gonna be harmful. It's gonna be very beneficial to have it, and you can expect it to get 4 to 5 feet tall. The more you cut it back, the bushier it will get, and it just fill that area up really nicely. Another option, if you wanna work with shrubbery, is rosemary. Rosemary is one of my favorites to use as a shrub. This is something that I have at my home, and what we've got here is we've got 3 rosemary plants against the privacy fence. Now, rosemary is gonna get between 3 and 4 feet tall It's going to fill this area up very nicely. The more you cut it back, the wider it's going to get. It's going to get very compact, and it's almost going to look like a boxwood, but it's just the rosemary. And you can use this for grilling. It's easy to collect, it's easy to harvest, so it's right here. Now the thing about the rosemary is we're only using 3 in this section, but you could add 4, 5, or 6, and to make it more compact, it will grow faster if you wanted to do that. But we had 3 here that I wanted to show you for an example today. Now, one benefit to this spot is we have plenty of sunlight coming in and hitting this fence. So if you wanted to transition this, put tomatoes, put peppers, till this area up, you can utilize that, tag them to your fence, and as you're coming home, you can see everything right here for harvest. It's a very easy and inconvenient way to have a garden very accessible to you. The final thing that you want to look at if you want to take it up just a notch is curbside appeal. Now, most of the time we're looking at some type of ivy or anything that we can use to make it really sharp. Now today I have got salad mix out here. One thing I'll tell you about using salad mix is your rabbits and other furry creatures are going to love this, so you may have to watch what you put out here. But if you wanted to use this right here against the curbside, you wanted to tear out the grass, probably about 1 foot, and just make it good soil. Make sure that you amend it, get a good soil test, make sure that you have good access to water when you're doing this. But the salad mixes, you can put them really close together, spread them out, but they will eventually make a little tunnel of salad. Easy to harvest, you can still use it, and it is edible landscaping. If you wanted something that's more lower to the ground, you can use thymes, oreganos, anything like that. I would suggest using mint. Mint's very prolific, has a great smell, and it's also good for your pets. But when you're planting mint, you want to dig a large hole, put the plant into a plastic container where the roots cannot interfere with the soil. If the roots interact with the soil, mint will take over and ruin a yard, a garden, whatever that you have that it touches the soil because it's so prolific. So keep those roots segregated away and into a plastic pot that they can't go anywhere, and the mint will look great here. If you want to find more ways that you can use edible landscaping in your home, go to bonnieplants.com or check out the app Homegrown with Bonnie Plants.
If you have a question for Sydney, drop him an email at simplysouthern@alafarm.com. Of course, bonnieplants.com has gardening information available 24/7.
That'll wrap up another episode of Simply Southern. Thanks for watching. Hope you'll make your plans now to join us again next week. I'm Jim Allen.
And I'm Mary Johns. We'll see you again next time.
Simply Southern is a production of the Alabama Farmers Cooperative and the Alabama Farmers Federation.